What's going on, YouTube? We back again with another one. And today's video is something I actually couldn't wait to get with, because y'all know I love technicals. But we're going to be identifying market trends, right? Identifying how we identify when market's in an uptrend, a downtrend, ranging. And if you don't know what these are, this is the perfect video for you, because now you're about to learn, right? So boom, we have an uptrend market. So uptrend market is when you see price creating higher highs and higher lows, right? And that looks something like this, right? So you have price create a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? And you're looking for these after you make a higher high. You want price to really come back and retest the previous higher high as a support zone, right? Because we see it makes the higher high, and when it comes down to make a higher low, technically this now becomes a resistance. Once we break above this resistance, we always want to see support and resistance retested, right? So now that we broke above this resistance, we want to really see this area in price retest as support zone. It really gives us confirmation, and it gives us more of a balance under our structure of patterns, right? Under our structure of market movement. So like if you have price just shoot up here and then hit and then shoot all the way up here and then hit, what that does, it kind of leaves a lot of empty space, right, for price to be able to fall through, because there's no structure under there to really hold price up. So when you have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and they're retested and they're made in such a manner, it gives price that strength stability because it has support zones under it. It just doesn't have, free range to fall because there's no support zones, right? So definitely a big thing. Downtrend, right? So a downtrend is going to be made when you have price creating lower lows and lower highs. Lower lows, lower highs. Once again, you want price to retest these lower high points as resistance, right? So boom, comes down, makes a lower low, makes a lower high. Comes down, makes another lower low, makes another high. You want to see these areas, these previous areas of the lower low retested to really give price that fundamental structure and base above it, so you don't just have price shooting up out of willy-nilly because it has no resistance zones above it, right? So you just have price free falling, creating like a little baby higher high, and then free falling a lot more. When price does lose that bearish momentum, you're going to see price shoot up because there's no resistance zones. There's no solid foundation of resistance zones that's been making on its way down. And then you have a consolidation of range in market. And this is just when market is really just bouncing back and forth between two zones, not really doing a whole lot. And we'll actually take a look at that on US 30. It's actually a very good example of a range in market. Now, within a range in market, you can have price making higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows and lower highs and back, etc. Depending on how big the range is, right? And then you have trend reversing. Now we see price making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? And then this is where we kind of see that range in market, right, where price is really trying to get its foundation set on what it wants to do. And you'll see oftentimes when price reverses in trend and starts to create lower lows and lower highs, you'll see these previous areas of these higher highs and higher lows retested, right? So it makes a lower low here, lower high, lower low here, lower high. But you see where this lower high is? This lower high is the same position of this previous higher high, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, which is the previous area of this higher high, right? Boom. And that is what you'll often see at times. Like you'll see these same support or resistance zones tested, especially when it breaks, right? You always want to see, because as it stands, when price is in the uptrend, boom, boom. This is now a support zone, right? When price came up, came down, came up, it came back down and retested this previous resistance. Once it was broken through and retested, now this is a support zone. This previous resistance, when it created this higher high, once it broke through and retested, now this is a support zone. So these support zones are going to also be support zones on the way down. You know what I mean? Because they're still a support zone. Price just went above. So now when it's coming back down, it's going to retest these support zones as they are exactly that, resistance. Then you're going to break through. Then you're going to retest these supports oftentimes as a resistance zone because you want to see whatever's broken retested, right? And the same thing with the downtrends, right? So if you have lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, ranging, right? And then you have these higher highs, higher lows. We're going to be retesting these support zones. Boom. Retested support. Boom. Breaks, retested. We see this higher high is the same as this lower high, right? Which was a previous resistance. It's going to break above this resistance and retest this zone as a support zone, right? Whether it be a wick, whether it be a candle, it's going to retest this. Now let's take a look at the market, because that's where it really gets nice and gritty with it. And let's just take a look at US 30, because US 30 has a great range of market right now. So this is what I mean by a ranging market, right? Well, price is ranging. Great ranging market. But we see within this range, we got higher high, higher low, higher high. And what does price come back and do? Retest it. Where's my boom? Right? So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now, one thing I want you to identify in these is, look, this is where the power is. Look, price is coming back to these areas and retesting it. Then we have another small little range of market within the range of market, because we see price isn't going anywhere. It's going anywhere, right? So let's take a look at something like GU and identify some more. I've been doing other videos today, so let's look at this. We have price coming up, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Now, it's not always going to test exactly at where this is, right? Sometimes you'll break below, but it's about understanding and identifying that price never broke below this higher low. So, right, it's still in the uptrend. Go higher high, higher low. Skip here, higher high, higher low, higher high. My laptop is screaming at me. I think it's tired of me making videos this morning. This is a good example of a downtrend. Honestly, I could bring this to the daily. Now look at downtrend movement, right? So we have lower low, lower high, 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 lower low. Right? So we're seeing, and one thing you can always do that makes identifying these a lot easier is change it to a line chart, right? Get the candlesticks out the way, be able to identify the valleys and the peaks. Very easy. Boom, 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 right? And then we see now we have an uptrend market. Higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then we see price went back to a downtrend market, right? Because it failed to create another higher high. So once you fail to create another higher high, now you're making higher lows, right? Especially if you fail to create a higher high and you break below the previous higher low, right? So this is a higher low point, right? So once price broke below this and gave us that true break of structure, which didn't really come to about here. Like, it broke here, came back up, right? And you could really say, once it broke, create a lower low, lower high, another lower low, which is almost like even, and another lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right, is that making sense to you guys? And one of the big things, especially when it comes to identifying support and resistance zones, identifying trend movement, is you want to look at your whole numbers, quarter point levels. And what those are, you're probably asking, it's these numbers right on the side, right? So there is power in the whole numbers. So this 1.60000 strong level, 1.580000 strong level, 1.560000 strong level, because these whole number levels, these quarter point levels, is where the banks are actually having their levels of take profits, of getting in the trades, right? Because when you're a bank, you wanna get in where it's easy, it's simple. Where'd you get in? Oh, I got in at 1.66. It's simple, right? 1.60, 1.58, right? And you use these areas to identify where potential support and potential resistance is going to be. So you'll see me do this a lot, especially a lot in my trade breakdowns. Things like, they're not paged, okay. All right. So then a little bit here. Move that over here. And oftentimes what I'll do is when I see price coming to potential supports or resistance zones, I'll just look and see what is the closest hold number. All right, so you look, and this is typically something I'll do beforehand. All right, so let's just say where price is sitting right now. Take this 4 hour. I will look at this price and say, okay, what is going to be my biggest potential when it comes to resistance on a whole number level, right? Say something like 21200. And if we look at this area, we see price comes right to this area and rejects in this price zone, right? Above that, right? And you're always looking to the left, right? Seeing what past market movement did. Probably like what, 1.222. Look where this is. Look where this falls. It's perfect. We see it came to this whole point level and just rejected. And I could have saved this for another video, so I'm probably just gonna make this a whole identifying market structure and support and resistance. So when it comes to identifying things like support and resistance, what you want to do is look for where price is testing multiple areas. So like I'm looking here, 1.19200, great level. All right, great level. I'm just gonna draw a little box. So I mean, this is a support zone. All right. I'm gonna look above. All right, so support is any area where you're seeing price come down to and test multiple times and fail to break. All right, so boom, came down, didn't break through. Came down, didn't break through. Came down, didn't break through, right? Resistance is going to be areas in price that you're seeing are tested multiple times. Like if I'm looking at price right now, boom, great area. Because we're seeing price is having a lot of fluctuation in this zone, right? We see price, boom, tested, broke through, came back, retested. Came down here, retested, broke through, retested, right? And we're seeing the rejections from the zone. Boom. Came down, tested this support, boom, retested. Boom. And it's not always going to be clean, right? And we see exactly where price stopped to end the week. Right in the same exact zone. Do you think that's a coincidence? You think that's like happened for no reason? No. It happens because the market pays attention. The market knows where its previous supports and resistance levels are. Other traders know where previous supports and resistance levels are. And so they're taking profit. They're getting out of trades at these levels. An area like this. And now I'm not going super specific to identify. But this would be another area I would pay attention to. All right. Because I'm seeing prices coming to this area. Oop, that's not what I want to do. Prices coming to an area like this and rejecting. All right. So boom. And we see this would be how you can easily identify market structure. Let's take it to daily. Where's my baby at? DXY. It's my girl right here. A US dollar. Almighty dollar. I'm going to do another video of me just breaking down charts. Actually, I don't like this video.